we wanted to thank everybody that came to our first one and watched it with us. We had a pretty overwhelming response, so I was kind of surprised at the numerous numbers. So we had a lot of people talking to us about them and encouraging us to, we're going to do about one of these about every 3 or 4 weeks and see how that goes for everybody. Tonight we're going to be talking about the folks that possibly lost money in the stock market due to the coronavirus and how that really can be a positive for you. So you want to touch a little bit on that for us, Patrick?
Well, when we tell people it's a positive thing to lose money, they seem to lose interest pretty quickly. But there really are some things we're going to talk about tonight that I think you'll be interested in. We get a lot of compliments from our own clients when we start talking about making lemonade from the lemons that unfortunately this terrible virus epidemic has given us. So yes, there are some positives, and we think you're gonna like them.
That's awesome. So we're just going to kind of do like we did last time. We're just going to feed back and forth off each other. First topic we're going to talk about tonight, kind of what we talked about in the beginning, was tax-free dividends and exactly how would that work to our favor during this market timing.
Well, first of all, just so you know, my name is Patrick Wehrly, and I'm an enrolled agent admitted to practice before the IRS. Daniel here, Daniel Martin, is the president of our tax division, also certified tax preparer, and probably forgotten more about taxes than most other people you're going to know. But I want to also remind you from 30,000 feet that the tail that wags the dog in your finances is taxes, taxes, and taxes. So when we start talking about tax-free dividends, we're talking about you making $10,000, $20,000, maybe $30,000 for the duration of this year with some changes you're going to need to make absolutely tax-free. Now, good luck finding a better deal than that. You say, well, that can't be true. It is true. There's a lot of things that are true that you're not understanding because people are not giving you the right information. Quick story. Had a gentleman yesterday came in and he said, Patrick, I've made a lot of money in Facebook and I've made a lot of money in Home Depot, and I'd like to sell some of those positions, but I don't want to pay any taxes on them. You guys are so smart. Can you do that? I said, yes, sir, we can. Well, it turns out he had lost some money in one of his other investments. This is before he became a client and came and let Daniel and I help him. And we were able to balance those out. So, poof, we were able to take highly taxable assets and have him put that money in his checking account. And dividends is the unknown secret. I'm talking about monthly income that you don't pay taxes on anymore. Now, 2 things have to happen. Your income probably would have to drop a little bit, maybe from its normal level, because you're not working right now because of the coronavirus. So that's kind of one thing. Then we'd want to talk to you about organizing a different style, a different protocol, a different type of stock market investment concept where you've got dividends that you wouldn't have to pay taxes on. Spoke to somebody the other day and she said, Patrick, I'm real interested in that, but all I have is the mutual funds and they don't pay dividends. I said, well, that's problem number 1. We need to fix that as well as fix your taxes. So tax-free dividends, something you can do. Give us a call.
Excellent, excellent. Again, that's all part of the Tax Cuts and Job Act. It's just an extension of that we'll be able to work it to your favor along with the lost wages and everything due to the coronavirus. Now, this next part is one that's going to get a lot of people. You know, we're going to tell them tonight that there's a benefit, an actual benefit to stock market losses. So let's touch a little bit on that and kind of explain to them how they can benefit from losing money.
Well, so before we do that, let me just say this. We want to also tell you, along with telling you what to do, which is to give us a call and get professional advice, we also want to tell you what not to do. We did get a gentleman the other day talking about stock market benefits that made $100,000 in the stock market. He lives back east. $100,000 on one stock. Now think about that. That's a pretty neat deal. People work hard all year and not make $100,000. You made $100,000 in a couple months on one stock. That's the good news. You want to know what the bad news is? He paid more than 50% income taxes. He came up with the money. He risked it. He paid all of his costs, brokerage fees, and everything. He took all the risk, and he gave the IRS 54% of the money. He didn't even get half of it. That was a mistake. Folks, don't make that mistake. Don't think that there aren't benefits to the tax cuts. Let me say that again. Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. So item number 1 is you can balance your losses, as I mentioned earlier, with gains. If you've lost some money and you just don't think those positions are coming back, but you have some gains over here, we can balance that. I had a gentleman the other day that argued with me, always a mistake. He said, well, Patrick, everybody knows that you can only deduct $3,000 of your losses. And I said, sir, that's wrong. That's a myth. You can only deduct $3,000 of your losses against your personal income, but you can deduct losses unlimited against gains.
It's a common problem we have with folks. They just don't understand tax law, how it really can benefit them.
He said, how come I've never heard that before? I said, I
didn't ask us. That's
I can't answer that. He said, I wish I'd met you 10 years ago. Now, here's another benefit of losses, is a lot of these positions are really low right now. A lot of these companies have gone down. These are great companies. They're down just temporarily. You know, if you'd have called me up a year ago and said, Patrick, you can buy several very, very well-known oil pipeline stocks for 30 cents on a dollar. And I said, no, I don't think there's anything, Daniel, anything that could happen that could have these companies drop 70, 80, one of them even 90%. And yet that's what happened. So you know what we're doing? The benefit, we're loading up. We're loading up on these companies. We're buying these companies at pennies on a dollar, and as they move back and they pay large dividends, and we've got to go back to tax-free dividend income, then we're going to be very, very happy in the future. And last, kind of number 3, is lower income. I'm sorry, but if you're not working right now and your income has dropped a little bit in 2020, this is a perfect time for you to come in and start talking about Roth conversions.
That's right.
Now's the time to do it, folks. Take $20,000 out of your traditional IRA, put it over into a Roth. Now you have to pay the taxes on it, but remember, you're going to be paying the taxes at a lower rate because your income has gone down. Lower income, lower taxes. You pop that money over into a Roth and it grows and it grows and it grows. Poof! Tax-free for the rest
And I
of your
hear,
life.
based off that, we hear folks all the time saying, well, I'm not 59 and a half. Well, don't get caught up in that. We can still do it. There's ways around that. So the IRS is giving you an out. You need to make sure you're taking advantage of it.
If you were a tax expert, and we are, and we've been doing this for a long time and we're good at it, there's a lot of things that we can help you with in every area. Remember, the tail that wags your finances and your retirement is taxes, taxes, taxes. Now, in closing this little segment, sell stops. Maybe it's time. One of the benefits of what's happened is to have you stop, take a deep breath and think, hey, wait a minute. You know, maybe I should have had some sell stops. Maybe I should have had a protocol that protected me from these large stock market drops. And Daniel and I do that all the time. That's what you need, especially going forward with the elections coming in November.
That's excellent, excellent advice. Now, all this gathered up, as y'all can start to see, we're talking a lot about taxes, which we're experts in, and what we're going to show you is even more ways of saving big on your taxes. There's huge savings out there right now if they jump on it and take advantage of it, wouldn't you say?
Well, there really are. And once again, people are floating around, you know, talking about the virus and all those things, and please understand that we have compassion for this. But listen, there's action. There's things that you need to be doing right now. You know what one thing you should think about? You should take a fresh look, take a new look at some of the bond portfolios that are tax-free. You pay no taxes on the money, ever. You make interest, the bond values go up, and yet you pay no taxes on it. Maybe now is a good time. Maybe that's a benefit of what's happening. Big tax savings in terms of not paying taxes on your bond income. Another idea, again, we've already talked about, is these large monthly dividend incomes. I'm talking from AT&T, Procter & Gamble, Walmart, Exxon, large month, and that you pay no taxes on as a function of a lower AGI, a lower income right now, because again, your work has been interrupted, maybe the virus has affected your income, but now's an opportunity to be able to take advantage of that. We talked about Roth income, absolutely tax-free. Did you know that Roth income does not trigger taxes on your Social Security income?
It's the only thing out there. It's pretty amazing.
Well, how about them apples? people say, well, I can't believe I pay taxes on my Social Security income. I paid taxes all my life. You know what? Give us a call. We can fix that. We can take care of that. You might be paying taxes. In fact, you probably are paying taxes right now that you don't even have to pay anymore, because we have a new thing called the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. I don't know if I've mentioned that this evening or not.
That's right. And along with that Roth income, remember, there's other products out there that work like a Roth that'll give you that same tax-free income. They're an IUL. We've touched on that in the first one. We're going to touch back here a little bit. But IULs are based on a life chassis, so you get an expansion of your funds day one. So that's a pretty amazing thing that most people, whenever we run them a illustration of an IUL, they just can't believe how well that'll work. Now, that's not for everybody, like most things, but it's certainly a good opportunity that we can get you into something that'll work for you on that storefront there. The last part we're going to talk about is, are you dealing with the best broker that you can deal with, especially during this time of this turmoil in the market, there's ups and downs. You know, there's no reason why the market should be going up today, and it's still going up. It's amazing. You know, they say that a month ago the price of oil was going through the bottom, so I had to shut down the market because it was tanking the market. Then they announced that the price of oil is going down, and it makes the market go up. There's no logical sense into that. So times like these, what kind of advice can you give them on the best type of broker they need to be looking for?
So here's the good news, folks. You probably are not going to be able to figure this out. I'm not being ugly. I'm sure you're a professional people. A lot of people listening to us this evening are very well to do, very well educated. But let me tell you something. You're in a market that you've never seen before. And when we start looking at the analysts and what we're forecasting in the future, you better have somebody in your corner that knows the answers.
That's right.
Now, if it's tax advice, and again, we're tax experts, no question about that, you want to make sure that your tax advisor is giving you advice before you file your return. There's no reason to walk in and say, here, Mr. Smith, here's your tax return, you owe $80,000. Wish we could have talked last year. No. You want to be doing meetings with your tax advisors, getting tax advice, not preparation, tax advice before it's time to pay your taxes. And we speak all those languages. We understand finances. We understand houses. We understand gold and silver. We understand all of these different asset classes, so we can make sure that you understand the best way forward. Again, in some cases free, and in some cases reduced taxes, but always savings for you.
That's awesome. So folks that come in that are wanting to possibly use us as their broker, what's the best way that we can show them how we can benefit them? What do we have that can take what they have and show them how it can be better?
This is going to surprise you. You know who the best person is? The best person for you to talk to about exactly how you've been doing and how you should have been doing is you. That's right, not Merrill Lynch, not us, not Charles Schwab. The best person is you. Folks, when you come in and we lay down your statement and we lay down our statement side by side, we measure them. Real simple. This is what you've been doing. This is how it's been performing. Here's your taxes. This is what you would have been doing with our company. I can't tell you how valuable an apples to apples comparison is. They're prepared by Morningstar. I'm sure you're familiar with Morningstar, one of the largest in the world. Has nothing to do with us. It's neutral. It's third party. This is what you've got. You show me yours, I'll show you mine. That's the Texas way. And you'd be shocked at how much better a properly operated portfolio can grow and how much less the taxes can be at the same time.
That is awesome. Well, that's going to about wrap it up for us tonight. We want to thank y'all again for coming. Reminder that we're moving into our new beautiful office building that we bought. We'll be in it next week. We'll be sending out another reminder about that. And again, thank you so much for tuning in and for encouraging us to continue to do these things. And remember, whatever we do, we want to make sure that you retire with a peace of mind. I'm Daniel Martin. This is Patrick Wehrly. You have a good evening. We thank you for coming.
God bless.